Hello.
Hello. Hello there, hey boo. Welcome everybody. Our guest today is Jennifer Lee. How you doing, Jennifer?
I hope it is since I'm sitting here.
I'm sorry, I'm new at this.
Thank you, Jackie.
I'm new. Chrissy, you have to help sometimes. I get messed up all the time.
Well, Jackie, you didn't say Chrissy, take it away. I mean, you did fine.
Okay, next time I'm gonna say Chrissy, take it away.
I'm still trying to find where we're live. Okay, there we are. If you guys will give me just a second, I just want to share to a couple of groups.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm late, y'all.
That's okay. It happens.
I'm always
Getting back into the swing of things since the big wedding.
Yes.
That's right.
We had fun.
Don't know. Well, for some reason, I can't share it to my public page, but that's okay. I'll share it over later.
Are you sharing from Paralinks or where are you sharing from?
From Swamp Talk.
Yeah, for some reason the sharing on that's weird. Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was just looking for it so that I could share it out, but I can share it out later. I'll figure it out. So Chad says this show actually starts on time. Damn.
Oh, Chad!
No, it don't. We're late. Okay.
We were a few minutes late, but we made it.
It was me. I was late. I got lost. I got sidetracked on things. Yeah. So, how you doing, Jennifer?
I'm good. I'm really good. How are you?
Good.
And congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now you're Mrs. Petrie. How's that?
Yes.
How's that feel?
Good.
Good.
Good. Wait a minute. Okay.
Send that to Jennifer.
Only a couple of minutes.
What did you say?
Send that to Jennifer that I just sent you, Jackie. Did you get the link?
I don't have my phone.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, I'm not ready.
It happens.
I do have some cigarettes. I've remembered to bring me.
So you're somewhat prepared.
No monsters.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's funny.
Oops.
Well, thanks for having me this evening.
Thank you for coming on.
I wasn't sure what you wanted to talk about, so I'm just going to let you take the lead.
Oh, damn. Again.
Ask away.
Okay. And help me, Chrissy. Take it away, Chrissy. No, I'm just joking. So, tell us a little bit. Huh?
Do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, I was going to just say that. I was going to say, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Jennifer Lee. I'm a psychic medium, remote viewer. I'm also a controlled remote viewer, and there's a difference between the two of them, so I like to point that out. Paranormal investigator, a cold case reviewer, and a certified death doula. I am starting to dabble in ground healing a little bit now. For some reason, I'm being drawn to that, but that's what I do. My passion is in the mediumship readings and the death doula stuff right now. That's really what I like to do with the abilities I have. So,
what's some of the abilities you have?
All of those I just listed. So I have psychic abilities. I have mediumship abilities. All of those I just listed. So I have psychic abilities. I have mediumship.
Why are we hearing double?
What was that? Okay,
so that was you, right?
Are we good now?
I was sharing the link. What I was doing.
I was hearing double.
Okay, it happens. Yeah, I was hearing that too. I was hearing myself. Psychic abilities and mediumship abilities, and there is a difference between the two of them. Some people don't realize that there is, but there is. So psychic abilities are basically going to be impressions that come into me about something. It might be something that's already happened, might be about a person, place, or thing, an event. But those are just kind of impressions that come in, and mediumship is actually connecting with those who have passed. So that's the difference between the two of those. Now, we do use psychic abilities to connect and do our mediumship. So there is a link between the two of them, but there is a very distinct difference. So when I do my readings, my private readings, sometimes there's a combination of the psychic and the mediumship. I will make a direct link with a loved one, but sometimes some psychic impressions come in there as well. And so I let those flow. I know that some mediums don't do that. They just want to be either all mediumship or all psychic. But I just let it flow. Whatever I'm hearing is what is going to come in, because I feel like, well, I know that spirit knows better than I know what you need. And so whatever comes in, whether that be something on the psychic side or mediumship, that's what we're going to do when we do a session. So there's your bed.
So, like, are you? I know you say I'm new at this.
It's okay.
want to know. I want to know about the abilities. But are you? How you say it, clairvoyant?
Yes. So there's all different types. There's all the clairs, and honestly, don't know them off the top of my head. I know what the senses are to them, right? But there's the knowing, and so when I get psychic, when I do the psychic stuff, I get impressions, and they're the knowing, right? So I know what something looks like. I know what something smells like. It doesn't mean that I'm physically smelling it. Doesn't mean that I'm physically seeing it or physically feeling it. It's a knowing. So that comes in. Now, there are times where I am physically seeing it. I am physically smelling it. And those are all different clairs. So I use all of them. I have the ability to use all of them. But predominantly in mediumship readings, I'm using, well, I guess there are three. But it's knowing, seeing, and hearing is what comes to me, and smelling a lot. I get a lot of feelings when I read. I get a lot of physical symptoms. And for some reason, that's really amped up actually in the last couple of months. So those I feel. That's not a knowing. That's an actual physical feeling that I will get. And so I'm trying to learn to work with that. That's always come in a little bit, but really, really strong lately. So that's another thing I can feel. I can feel spirit's hands on me. I can feel the hugs, and I can literally feel them. So that's an interesting one. So yeah, there's all the different clairs that are used.
So, like, when you do a reading for somebody, do you have to see them?
No.
No.
No, I don't have to see them to be able to read. It's a telepathic communication, right?
Yeah.
Between souls. And so I don't have to see them. There are no rules when it comes to mediumship, really. It's setting an intention, and it's a telepathic communication. So that can be done without seeing, that can be done without hearing, that can be done, without all of those things, because conversation is taking place soul to soul. It's taking place in a completely different realm. So the answer to that is no, it's not necessary to see them. Now, generally I do. Generally, that's how they come in and let me know who they are, is I see them first. I know what they look like. I know their physical features. I know some of their the characteristics that they have, right? Because they will always come in a way that is known to the sitter. So they may not be the same in spirit. They may have, there's growth that happens there. That doesn't mean that they're stuck exactly as they are when they passed, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. But that's how they will come in, because that's how we validate, right, who they are.
Yeah,
We know who they are. We don't necessarily know them in the new state. So I'm very clear about that, and I always bring spirit in exactly as I know, hear, see spirit. And so sometimes that gets heavy, right? Sometimes there's some hard shit that we talk about. Sometimes there are words flying out of my mouth that I just don't say on a regular basis because that's what makes this authentic, right?
Yeah.
I come in, and there's a father here that just swore all the time, and I'm like, oh, he says, dang it. You're gonna be like, no, he didn't. So
Right.
I bring it in exactly as I hear it, which sometimes surprises people. So I always let them know that before I do a reading too. So things come out of my mouth that would normally never come out of my mouth, not just language, but just phrases that I would normally never say, things I would never do. For instance, and this is one of my favorite stories about that, I was sitting with some clients doing a personal one-on-one reading with them. And I was sitting on my hands, you guys. I was sitting on my hands because I had the worst urge to flip off my client. I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, you cannot do that. You can't flip people off. And I couldn't rationalize it. Like, why do I want to flip them off? But finally I couldn't anymore. I just couldn't stop it. And so I flipped them off. And they just started laughing. They were laughing and they said, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. That's my dad. He had a stroke, and that's how he communicated. That was hello. That was goodbye. That was I love you. That was all of the things. And for months, that's what he did, was flipped people off. So I've learned to stop questioning. So whatever comes in comes out. Because it's when I question it, and when I stop and I think, God, you can't flip people off. The hell are you can't do that. That's when I make the mistake. Or you can't call that person that name. You can't do that, Jen. Once I got over that fear of being wrong and looking just like a complete ass, for lack of a better word, and I let it flow out as it came in, things started changing for me. My readings started getting a lot better. They became very authentic. So that's the way that I pass it forward.
Yes, that's good. Like remote viewing, you do that too, right?
Yeah.
I know we just talked about that. Probably.
So there's two types of remote viewing. There's what would be a psychic impression, right?
Yeah.
Where I might be doing a reading with you, and suddenly I can see a room in very clear view. I can describe it to you. I can tell you about this room. Sometimes you've experienced that with me, right, Jackie?
Yep.
Sometimes it might even be a home from the past, but it's a place that you instantly recognize, and I can get in there. But that's just a psychic impression that's coming in. Controlled remote viewing is very different. Controlled remote viewing is actually the process that they used. I want to say that it started in 1987. They called it Stargate, that the military started using to remote view. And it is an intentional act. It is a process. It is sitting down. In fact, I have a page here. It's using ideograms that look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's symbols for different places, or different elements, basically. And it is sitting down with paper, and it again, it's very controlled. There are certain things that you must write. There are certain things that you need to do, and then you start going, and then you type up a report about it. So controlled remote viewing is very, very different than just what a lot of psychics and mediums call remote viewing, right? That's just the impression that comes in our head as we're talking to you. So, Chad says he was just talking about that program yesterday. So you know what? Supposedly that was like declassified, and they got rid of that, I want to say in like 1995 or something. But I have to tell you, honestly, I still feel like remote viewers are still used in the military. I really do. It's a fascinating process. The things that you can see from an unknown location or incident is really amazing, especially with the controlled remote process. It's because that's what all you're focusing on, right? Is that one unknown target or place or person. and you really just put your focus into there, and it's so controlled that as you start writing the different things, your brain, I don't know how to explain it, but it just kind of puts you in that place, and then you can draw the sketch of it, which may look something like this. This is a map, and I know that it doesn't make a lot of sense, but to you guys, but when you're in the middle of like drawing your sketch, right? I know exactly, or your map. That's how that works. This is also, let's see. Yeah, so this is one I did from remote viewing. You might have seen this one, Jackie.
No. Wait, what's that one, a sketch of?
I mean, I did this one clear in May of 21. So honestly, I got to tell you that without going to my book of notes, I wouldn't really know, because I do so many things that certain things will stick in my memory, but most of them don't. So I have notebooks and notebooks and notebooks full of journaling and writing that go along with what I'm drawing.
Yeah.
Or my readings, or I always laugh and I always say, whoever has to go through my stuff, finds my notebooks, my drawings, all my scribbles, when I'm gone, is in for a treat. They're going to learn so many things.
So when you do like remote viewing, does it just like you sitting there? Do you ever like to sit there and it comes to you?
Yes.
Is it maybe you're looking at something that happened and it comes to you, right?
Yes, that will happen a lot. And so, I used to journal everything, and lately I've been drawing. And so there's a lot of times that I'll sit down and I'll draw a place and I don't know what it is, but I'm seeing it, right? This knowing seeing. And so I got to tell you, I couldn't draw stick figures a year ago. And I couldn't. Oh my God. And I'm still not the best artist, but they were horrible. I know Jackie's seen some of it. I know Howard has.
Mm-hmm.
They were terrible. And I'd be like, it looks like this. And people just like, what the hell is that? Well, it's this, it's that. So I made this conscious effort that I'm going to start drawing what I see, because even in my readings, a lot of times I will say, I wish you guys could see what I could see. I don't know how to adequately describe it. So I've been drawing. And yes, I will draw things and I will not know what they are. And then my next reading or a week down the road, I suddenly know exactly what that drawing is. So that does.
So it's like a premonition that you have.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And really, it's been things that I'm going to run into, which is interesting. I drew a picture last week and I wasn't sure what it was. And I was kind of goofing around with it because I'm like, this is horrible and I don't know what this is. So I'm just going to turn it into, I didn't listen, right? I didn't stop when Spirit said stop. This is what it is, because I couldn't figure it out. So I just kind of scribbled on it and drew it into something else. Somebody saw that picture days later and they said, oh my God, without that scribbling that you did, okay, I turned him into Sasquatch is what I did. So I mean, she's like, I know exactly who that is. I said, what do you mean you know who that is? And she pulled up a picture on her phone and I just got the chills. So he was coming to me because I had done a reading before on him. So, but I'd never seen his picture. So it's just interesting things like that, but yes, to answer your question, those impressions will come in a lot. Let's see. Hi, Penny.
So then how do you shut yours off, Jennifer? How do you shut down?
So here's the thing. I don't really know that they're shutting down. Okay. I feel like I always say that it's a dial. It's dialing up and it's dialing down. So for me to dial down is really no more than it is for me to dial up. It's really just intention. It really is. It's like, okay, now we're going to remote view and I will open to do that. I'm not sure really how I can explain that, but literally, hi Shannon, it's in the intention. So when I sit down here, if I want to go into mediumship, it's a shift. It's a shift in my awareness as to what I'm going to now pay attention to and to what I'm going to now allow in, right? And then when I'm done, I'm done. But I will tell you, it took me a long time to learn that. It took me a long time to learn that. It's not a technique. It's not a ritual. It's literally a switch of your awareness, and your intention, your focus has to go elsewhere. Because I was kind of a hot mess for some time when these abilities started to develop. It was constant. But I was also paying it more attention, right? Because it was new and I was trying to figure out what it was. And so my awareness and my focus was there a lot. And I also had a fear of, if I don't pay attention to this, is it going to go away? I had that fear. I don't have that fear anymore because it's not going anywhere. Literally, it's not going anywhere.
Get rid of it if you tried, right?
It's not going anywhere for any of us.
Yeah.
It's just a shift.
Gotcha.
So I just shift back, right? I just dial back when I'm not in the mood. That doesn't mean some things don't sneak through, but
Sure.
Hi, Kevin.
So then, do you do this as a profession, or do you do your readings just on the side? Tell us a little bit more about your readings and where people can locate you and what type of readings you do. You know, some psychics only do specific types of readings.
Right. So as I was telling you earlier, I do the mediumship readings, and I do those on a Zoom link. We do a private, actually it's StreamYard, but we do private on there. Sure. So we come on through a video link. I also will do like home clearings and walkthroughs. It's not a disease, Chad.
Man,
but that's it. Like, seriously, you have to manage it. You just have to learn to manage it. That's it. And honestly, you don't even have to work with it at all if you don't want to. Hey, Stephen. So I do those, and I do general guidance readings, which are going to be strictly psychic. They're going to be fairly short. Yeah. They're about 30 minutes long. And those are just going to be guidance. That's going to be what I hear coming in. Maybe that is from a loved one. Maybe that is from your spirit guides. But we're not going to get into a lot of mediumship. We're just going to go into impressions. Sometimes people need, now those are not fortune telling sessions. I don't do that. It's a lot of validation about choices that, people are making, or things that they're wondering about. Sure. So we discuss those. So I do those. I also will do walkthroughs and home clearings. I can do those virtually, also locally. I do them, and I'll actually go to the place. Being a death doula, one of the things that I do is when people are in the very last stages of their life, and it's generally somebody, that's terminal or elderly, and they have a death that we know is coming. I can sit with them, and I can sit with the family as they are passing, and I can tell the family what spirit is in the room, and it brings a lot of comfort. It brings a lot of peace. I can also sometimes, I don't want to say always, but I do have the ability to also communicate with the person that is passing, because they're in an altered state, right? Sure. And so some of those things can be tied up. Some of those last words that people think that their loved one, they're not able to hear. We can have that discussion. We can have that discussion directly with them. We have that discussion like through spirit, and it's beautiful and it's amazing, and it gives me chills to talk about. But so that's another kind of reading I can do, and I can do those. I can do those remotely as well. I just actually learned that because somebody asked me to do that a couple months ago, and I was terrified. I missed you too, Stephen. Thank you. I was terrified. I thought, if I'm not in the room with her holding her hand, how can I do this?
Right.
but I did it. And some of the most amazing, validating information came through. And if I talk about her too much, she will be here because I can feel it. So I'm not going to talk about her too much. I'm just going to say that those are some of the readings that I do. Now, cold case reviews is another thing that I do, which I would consider a reading, I guess. It's psychic impressions about a cold case. Now, I won't actually investigate one, simply because I am not an investigator, right? I'm not, I can't get a warrant, so I can sit on all the damn information I want, and it's going nowhere. And all I'm doing is wasting my own time and my own energy. But I can review a case, and I can give you my psychic impressions from the case. I can give you some leads to look at from another perspective. I can give you some things to think about, some things that I'm hearing, some things that I'm seeing about this case. But then I have to leave it. I have to leave that in the hands of somebody that can actually go out and real world investigate it. So that's another type of reading that I do.
You ever solved any cases like that?
I can't solve any cases. I can't solve any cases. All I can do is give clues, and somebody else has to solve the case. Let me tell you that I've given some clues, and I'm going to leave it at that. But no, I don't solve cases. I don't have the ability to do that.
The clues you give them, does that help them?
Yes. Yes. I've worked with families, individual families, and I've also worked with some agencies. And a lot of that I can't speak about like specifics, which is why all I'm saying to you is that I can give clues from another perspective that somebody else can follow up on, and then they can solve the case.
Wow.
Or they may not solve the case, but I can give them clues and leads from a different, something they're just not seeing. So.
I know you did a reading on me, and that was awesome. That was an awesome reading you did on me. It was even an awesome reading you did on Howard.
So the reading I did for Howard, I was telling you guys that there's a lot of readings that don't stick in my mind, right?
Yeah.
The reading that I did for Howard definitely does, because at that point in time, I was just stepping out of what I call the medium closet, because we're not always comfortable with our abilities and our gifts, and we don't know what other people are going to think or feel. Now I don't give one shit. But when I was first learning,
I love it.
I don't care anymore. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I don't care, because it's who I am. It's what I do. And I have so much faith in it that I just don't care. I really don't. But I did care at that time, and I was just learning. I was just stepping out of my comfort zone. And Howard and I met in another medium's group, and she was doing practice stuff. She was letting us that were, I know, well, I am crazy, Michael. We've talked about that. So she was letting us do practice stuff. And Howard's request came through. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thing. And so that sticks in my mind. That was the first live that I ever did, because I did it on a live as well in her group. And I was learning. I mean, I was just learning. So I was learning how to speak with people and build my confidence to deliver those messages. And so I remember that one. I remember that because it was challenging.
I think during one of the, I think it was that one. That's the sister-in-law event. And you said something about you probably get silver. So something like that he might receive something silver or something.
You'll have to remind me, Jackie, because I do so many readings that to remember the specific.
It was for Howard.
Oh, okay. And so then you got something silver.
And his sister-in-law was listening to it afterwards, and she gave him a silver cross. And she like, oh my God, how did she know I was going to give him that?
I don't know. This is what I tell people all the time. I don't know. But Spirit knows. And Spirit will let me know so that I can tell you. But I don't know those things. Only Spirit does. And I just have to have faith that what they're telling me and what I'm saying, is right. And I'm telling you that spirit has never let me down. Gosh, Stephen, there's been a few. But yeah, I do. I do. So, okay, so do you have any more questions?
So, how old were you when you got these abilities?
So I'll tell you what. I feel like I've had them for a very long time. The first thing that I can remember, I was about 3 years old, and then maybe 7. I actually have a picture here. I drew a picture the other day because this is what I saw when I was about 7. I was laying in my bed, and I saw floating at the end of my bed this beautiful angel.
Wow.
And so I drew a picture of her. Can you see it?
Yes.
But what's funny is I was so young and I had no idea what it was. I told my mother it was a tooth fairy. I told my mother, like, oh my God, I saw the tooth fairy and I didn't have a tooth. Like, I was so upset.
Wow.
And it took me a while. And I kept telling my mom, she looked just like an angel. She just looked like an angel, and she was wearing blue. And that sticks in my mind. There's been a couple of other things. I have a memory of my childhood that I can remember so vividly. And I went to talk to my family about it. And none of my siblings could remember this. And so when I asked my parents about it, they told me, Jen, you can't possibly remember that. That happened before any of you kids were born. And it's not anything that you would know in that kind of detail. So that's weird to me because I just found that out maybe 6 months ago. And so I still kind of am like, so this memory that I so vividly remember, I mean, I won't go into what it was, but I remember it so clearly. I was told that, yes, all of that did happen, but long before I was born. And so no way. So I'm still figuring that one out in my mind, trying to wrap my brain around that. So that would have happened when I was young, and I can remember that. I've had some dreams and some things. So my whole life, I would say that I've had something, but I didn't know what it was. And it was about 10 years ago when I actually started to realize what this was.
Wow.
And I started to pay attention, and I started to develop and to work with it.
That's awesome.
And then I decided, even though some people on here, probably Stephen, probably Michael, will disagree, that I'm not that crazy.
No, you're not.
I'm not. Oh, there's Eileen.
Yep.
Okay.
Hello, Eileen.
So, speaking of readings, do you guys want me to do a few?
Sure.
Do you want me to do a few?
Yes.
Or
Go
no?
ahead.
I mean, it's your show.
Anybody? How about
Okay, so-
somebody?
But if anybody has a question that they want to ask me, that is not related to a certain person that you want me to go into mediumship with, just a general question that will help me. I could do a quick psychic reading on that. And sometimes what happens from there is, like I said, then the mediumship comes in. So if anybody has a question, you can pop it in there. But in the meantime, Jackie, there's something that I want to tell you. You do have a female that's with you. You favor her in looks, and I feel like that this is your mother. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. But this is what's really funny about this. This has something to do with the wedding, because she had I can see, she's telling me that so she wasn't as like open concepted as we are about relationships now. And she wanted you married. She didn't want you living together. And so, like, it's so clear. And so she's like, thank God. Like, I'm so glad that you're finally married. Like, Like, that's what I hear her saying. It's like, just tell her like thank you. And Howard, thank you. It's so like she's just right there.
I don't know if she would have said that though.
I'm telling you, whoever this is, they were not very open. They were, I don't want to say, I'm telling you, that's what she's telling me.
So can I ask you a question? Does she approve of Howard?
Yes, and that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
Does?
She's like, she does approve of Howard. That's what she's saying. Like, thank you for getting married. I feel like what she's saying to me is that the living together thing was kind of not her cup of tea, but the marriage is.
Okay.
That's what she's making me feel like. And I don't know if that makes any sense to you. It might later. But again, I got to tell you exactly as I'm hearing it. Someone actually approves of him. Wow.
Yes,
Oh,
let me see.
I'm just trying to look at the comments here.
Jackie, I think there were several people that commented they
Yes,
wanted
they
you to
did.
answer questions.
They
If you
did.
can pop
Okay.
up the questions.
So, does somebody do you have a question that's not so general, Penny? Just because we're, like, I don't know, how much time do we have?
21 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna have to ask a question that's
Maybe.
pretty specific and not so general, so that we can kind of get through some.
Let's do this one. No?
Is my Yorkie okay, and does she visit? She passed in December 29, 2021.
So can you do animals?
Yes, I can. I actually can. I've only intentionally done one animal, but they do pop through. But I'm going to tell you this, Yvette, that yes, she is okay, because I know that animals' souls, that they have souls as well. I know that for a fact. And so I do know that she is okay. Did she have a little bell? I hear like the sound of a bell. Did she have a bell on her collar? Hang on, I'm going to wait for Yvette. I don't know. Her collar made noise. Either it was like a bell or it was like little metal things clanking. That's what I'm hearing. And so I feel like that you might hear that sound still. She had tags. Okay. And those tags would make the noise. And so she comes to visit. That's what you're going to hear, is that little sound. Okay. Because that's the way that I hear it. Is that metal when she walks, that sound. So listen for that sound, and you may have already heard it. But that's one of the ways. I'm just going to say that that's one of the ways that you're going to know that she's visiting, is when you hear that sound. And don't think that you're crazy if you think that you just heard her walking, and you hear the little footsteps and you hear the little tags, because that's what I'm hearing. And I almost feel like maybe you already have. Have you already felt like she was still there and kind of heard her? I'm just going to wait for Yvette for a minute. You have seen her? Awesome. So yes, she does come and visit. Let's see. What else do we have?
This one? I'm sorry, Mama.
Okay, so
I'm going crazy.
Do you see stars? Can you pop stars question up?
Is cosmetology the right career path for me?
Okay, so I want to say yes, but I feel like there's a twist coming to it. I feel like there's something that you can do. I feel that you're extremely, extremely creative, and I feel like you're going to do something a little bit different. You're going to get the cosmetology license, but there's going to be one thing that you excel in that's a little bit different. because you kind of have a need for that. Like, I feel like if it's all going to be uniform and rules, and I have to do it this way and I have to do it that way, that's going to be really hard for you. There's going to be one area where you're going to excel, and it's going to be different. And when that idea comes to you, don't think that it's too crazy or far-fetched. Feel like when that idea comes to you, take action on it, because that's what's going to make it the right career path for you, is putting your own spin on it. Oh, so Penny, that's going to get me deep into mediumship. We only have a few minutes, but if she comes through, I will definitely let you know if I feel anyone in spirit around me. Let's see. Nikki, do you see me finding my bio family? You're welcome, Star. Yeah, I do. But I also, but you're going to have to take some very proactive steps to do that. And I feel like that you know what those are. And you may have already done them. I don't know if you've done like the DNA testing. I don't know if you've reached out to all of the different resources. I do feel like you're going to find them, but I do feel like that there's going to have to be, there's going to be some work before it happens. And there's going to have to be a lot of work. I don't feel like it's something that's just going to come to you or you're accidentally going to find them. It's going to come through a process, and it's going to come through some work. There are people called search angels, and I keep hearing search angels for you. They will help you to do this with no cost. And so maybe you can find the help of a search angel to help you with that. But I do see it happening. Again, I feel like it's going to take some help, and it's going to take some time. So let's see. You're welcome. And good luck. So I don't do a whole lot of medical stuff, Cami, but I want to tell you this. Actually, because I'm not a doctor. Yeah, I do feel that there's a way that you can manage it. So one thing that I'm hearing, like there might be some holistic stuff maybe that you haven't looked at. I'm not telling you not to continue going to see your doctor, because you need to do that. But I do feel like there's some holistic things and some healing might be able to give you some relief from that. So maybe try to look outside the box a little bit. And I think that there will be some things that can manage that a little bit for you. I hope that helps. Let's see. You're welcome, Cami. Okay, Eileen. Well, no, it never does. Does it ever? I mean, so here's what I'm hearing is it's going to go through and it's going to be okay. There's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some, I also feel like there might be a delay somewhere. So expect that. And if that doesn't happen, all the better. But I do feel like there might be some delays and some, it's not going to be just like straight and easy. Again, I do feel like there's going to be some stuff coming up, but in the end, I do feel like that you're going to end up with it, or there's just going to be some stuff. Right. So that's what I was saying, Chad. Like, that stuff never just goes easy. So definitely expect those. Let's see. I do not, Nikki. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to scroll up here for a minute.
How about you, Chrissy? Do you want to read? like when will she get married?
You have a question?
Jackie.
That was my question about Chrissy.
I don't know the answer to that. So that's totally up to her. That's totally up to the man she's going to marry. Like, yeah, I don't do those kind of readings because, yeah, I don't want anything that I may or may not say to influence it in any way, shape, or form. So that's completely up to them.
Okay, well, I do have a question.
Okay.
So when will we move?
I'm seeing 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Why are you laughing about that?
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay. I was like, you got to tell me why you're laughing.
For the target.
That's what I'm
hit it.
seeing. I'm seeing
Not that I question you, but you know what I mean.
But I'm seeing, okay, because that's what I'm seeing.
You just gave me confirmation.
6 to 8 months. That's what I'm seeing. So Kevin, that's kind of hard for me to do on a platform like this in 10 minutes. But I do want to tell you guys, when you're trying to figure out who the spirits are in your home, I want to give you a little bit of a tip about that, because we have some time. First of all, sit and feel with it for a minute. And does it feel, you want to know, like, take stock of how it feels. Does it feel scary? Does it feel comfortable? Did you jump? Do you just know it's there? And try to kind of define the feelings, first of all.
Ignore Stephen. Ignore him. Listen. Sit down and be quiet.
So if you can get the feeling from the energy or whatever's going on in your home, or the spirit in your home, if you believe that it's spirit energy, then kind of break that down. A lot of times when I go into homes, a lot of the spirit activity that's in the home is actually a known person in spirit to the person that owns the home. They just are not aware of who it is, or aware of how they feel when they come through. So that's the first thing that I would say is, if you're feeling that, try to feel this situation out. And you might be able to figure out who it is yourself. That's one way. Let's see. Chrissy Baggett hurts my brain. I can't even read her. That's what Eileen said.
Because I'm good at blocking, Stephen.
Oh. Okay. So let's see. So Kevin is saying that Jacqueline knows about everything. So if it's something more, if it's something more, and you're pretty sure that it's something more, then I would have, you can get a hold of a medium to walk through your home with you. And a lot of them can do that virtually, or you can actually have one come walk through with you. If it's bothering you, this is what I always say: if it's not bothering you, don't bother it. But if it's wreaking havoc and you're having trouble, then I would definitely ask for some help with that. Sometimes also, I always like to stress this: the energy that sometimes we think is spirit energy is not intelligent spirit energy, right? It can be residual energy. It can be stagnant energy in our homes from many, many different things. It's not necessarily spirit energy. So I always encourage people to look at all of the things that could be creating chaotic energy in the home. And of course, we don't discount, spirit energy, but we have to look at all of the things to actually get into a house and figure out what's going on. Okay, I'm going to scroll up here, look at some of these comments. Jackie, would it be a grandmother that would not approve of living together? I'm telling you, this woman is, and I know
what else is she saying?
To you. And no, I know she's connected to you. I know she's connected to you, and I know she's connected to you on your maternal side. Would it be a grandmother that would not approve of living together?
I can't really.
It's just interesting to me. It's
or
just
an aunt, maybe, or a great aunt, or
no. I feel mother energy with it, and it's fine. It's fine if that's not the case.
When you said she looks like me, I look like my mom.
Yeah, I can see that, and that's it. Like you favor, you favor her looks.
That's why I say, did she approve of him? Because usually anybody that's in my life that she don't approve of.
Well, she approves, and maybe so some of that takes us back to the living together thing. Okay, maybe there was I don't know. I just know that she's saying with the marriage that she approves. So know that.
That's good.
So that makes sense to me that you would say there was a lot she didn't approve of. So I'm like, I'm telling you what she's saying. Okay. Steven says he can't say what he's reading of Chrissy. You guys are making me really want to dig into Chrissy, and we only have like 7 minutes.
Come on, Chrissy, ask another question. Like maybe where you gonna move to?
Jackie.
I don't know that. I'm gonna pull a card though.
I was trying to ask him is it Jason that she's gonna marry?
Oh my gosh. Go ahead, Jennifer. You have my permission to
all right.
read.
Well, I'm just gonna pull a card for you really quick. These are, what deck is this? Divine Animals Oracle.
Okay.
And if you guys, I wanted to say this, if you guys want to see mediumship demonstrations, you can go to my page or Michael Christopher's page on Tuesday mornings, because we will do the demonstrations of mediumship for about an hour and a half together at 11 Central. And so, well, there she is.
There's the other hey boo.
What are we doing here? What is this?
Right at the last
hey
minute.
boo.
Oh, a hey boo. Oh, okay. I just woke up from a nap.
Yes.
I fell asleep. It's hot here, so I fell asleep.
Everybody saying hi.
Hi.
Hello.
You know Jennifer, huh, Anya?
Yes, of course I know Jennifer. I've been waiting to meet her in person though. So yeah, I'm discombobulated. I woke up from a nap and I'm like, oh, Howard messaged me.
Okay, so here's the card I have for you, Chrissy. And this is, I know it's hard to see, it's the gorilla card. And
ooh, we're doing readings for each other?
It says peace. It says peace on it. But here's the thing about the gorilla. The gorilla does know its own strength. However, the gorilla knows how to contain it as well, right? Because I have the feeling if Chrissy ever just went full on unleash, it would be extremely terrifying. So you have this power and you know when to use it and you know when to just hold it in. For some reason, you are the peacemaker, right? You're the peacemaker. I feel like
you got like some stud walking behind you.
but the other thing is that there's this side to Chrissy that has this amount of strength. I mean, incredible strength. And this strength goes to, I feel like there's a lot of backing the people that you love with this strength. And it's a peaceful strength, but it is an undeniable strength. And sometimes I'm not sure that you know the full potential of it.
It's there. I know it's there.
It's
developing, but it's there. You're spot on again.
I'm telling you, I don't feel like you want to see her unleashed.
No, Stephen, you don't.
However, there's another side to this, though, that I'm seeing, Chrissy. You have another strength, like there is another side to your strengths that I feel like we do want to see unleashed. I feel like that you're holding back on those. And you are not unleashing them because you know the potential of them and you know the strength of them. So there's two sides to this. And I know that I'm spot on because I have chills that are like insane. And I know that you know, and I know that you're fucking terrified. Ooh, sorry. No, that's how it came out. That's
It's Monday. It's Monday. We have to have our Monday.
I know that you're
Our holy
terrified
language.
of them. See, that's what happens when I read. The way it comes in is the way it comes out.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Because I feel like you do know the strength behind them.
I do.
And so you choose the peace, right? But I also want to tell you that I do feel like you could unleash a little bit of that. I feel like if Chrissy steps out of her box just a little bit, I mean, girl, your power is incredible. I'm telling you, I can feel it, but you keep it contained. You keep it, and you keep it in stop. Oh, okay. Let a little bit of it go. Don't unleash it all, because then it's going to be scary, but like a little bit at a time.
Got you.
Oh, thank you, Steve. He says I can say it.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh man, I know. So that's the thing. Like when I read, I just don't hold back. It just sometimes pops out, and I try. So anyway, there you go. That's a little peek.
Call me out. Just call me out, Denver. Come
That's a
on.
little peek from me, from Spirit, inside of Chrissy's head.
That's a good reading.
We won't go any further. But you know where to find me.
I do. Thank you, Jennifer.
What I do want to say is that Jennifer Lee, Intuitive Medium, I do have a private group and I do have a public page. I'm actually trying to get my private group to go over to my public page. They're not going. It's because my group is really fun. But I do need to grow my public page. So if anybody wants to hop over there and give it a like, I would absolutely love that.
Okay.
I would appreciate it.
Is that where that they can go and ask for a reading?
Huh?
Could they go to that group and ask for a reading if they wanted a reading?
No, because I don't do free readings in my group unless I'm like on something like this. But I do have a scheduler that will be popping out pretty soon where they can schedule an appointment. But it's not just like a free reading group. I do discuss some things. You were asking me earlier if this is turning into a business for me. So yeah, they do have to schedule an appointment. Or if they're over in that group, they'll get to see lives. Sometimes I hop on and just do spontaneous ones, but always Tuesday mornings with Michael, they can see us read.
All right, so it's 7:00, and thank you for coming on, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me.
You were awesome.
Good night.
Good
See
night,
you guys.
everybody.
Good night.
Are we done? That was it?
No.
Oh.
Haven't clicked
We
off
came in
yet.
late. We're still
Okay.
live though.